Hey everyone. In this video, I'm going to be talking about block and inline elements in HTML and how to change them with CSS. Understanding these two types of elements is crucial for creating well-structured and responsive web pages. HTML elements are divided into two categories: block level elements and inline elements. Block level elements start on a new line and take up the full width available, while inline elements do not start on a new line and only take up as much width as necessary. Let's get started. Following along from the previous videos, you should already have the index.html set up to point to an external CSS file. If you do not already have this set up, pause the video and take a moment to add this boilerplate code to your file, as well as creating the separate styles.css file in the CSS folder and pointing to it. I've also included links in the description where you can find the code to get you started. Also, open live server if you don't already have it open. First, in the index.html file, let's add a few block and inline elements. Give it a h1 title. Call this block versus inline elements. Then give it a div. Divs are block elements by default. Give this one a class of block. Create a h3 element. Headings are block elements by default. Also give this one a class of block. And span. Spans are inline elements by default. And give this a class of inline. Then I'm going to add a link, the href to Google. And I'm going to say links are inline elements by default. And h2, this next part, I'm going to be overriding the default behaviors. So I'm going to create another div. Say using the display property, the div is changed to an inline element. I'm going to give this one a couple of classes. Give it block and display line. Then for the h3 element, I'm going to say using the display property, the h3 is changed to an inline element. I give this one a class of block, display inline as well. Then I'll add a span. Say using the display property, the span is changed to a block element. And for this one, I'm going to give it a class of inline and then display block. And finally, give it another link to Google. And say using the display property, the link is changed to a block element. Then I'm going to give this one a class of inline and display block. You know what? I forgot to give a class up here as well. So I'm going to give this one a class of inline. Now over in the styles.css file, let's give our HTML some styling. First, I'm going to give the block and inline elements some styling to kind of highlight the default behaviors. So block, we'll give it a background color of blue and a text color of white. And I'll give some margin top of 10 pixels. And for the inline, give them background colors of red, and then text color of white, and also a margin top of 10 pixels. So there you have it. All the default behaviors are highlighted. These are block elements and these are inline elements, same as below. And then now I'm gonna reverse the behavior of each of these. So these blue ones are gonna become inline elements and these red ones are gonna become block elements. Using the display property, I'm gonna do that. So for display block, I just give it a display property of block. And there you have it. Now these two appear on separate lines as compared to that. Then display inline. Give it a display property of inline. And now you see this one compared to this one, these are on separate lines, but these two now flow together as if they were on a single line. Go ahead and add your own element to the HTML and give it a different display value and see what happens. Try setting the display property to inline block as well. That way the element will be treated as an inline element, but its content will be treated as a block level element. This means that the element will take up as much width as necessary, but any following elements will appear on a new line. You can also set the display property to none, which is going to make the element disappear completely off the page. That's it for this video on block and inline elements in HTML and how to change them using CSS. Understanding the differences between block and inline elements is crucial in creating a well-structured HTML document. Being able to change an element's display property using CSS gives us even more flexibility in styling our web pages. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the description for additional resources to help you master this subject. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.